Hello again, my friends. Eric Pearson here with another demonstration of HARDSPACE SHIPBREAKER. Last time you saw me begin dismantling this Gecko, and now that I've removed the internal connection points to the hull, now is where the fun begins. So I'm going to start by tethering a piece of the outer hull and pulling it to the processor. So you can see parts start pulling away very easily once you remove all the internal connection points. Like so. Now sometimes you see parts along the side of the internal crew section that keep the outer hull sections in place. So you have to watch out for that. So the general idea is I want to pull away as much of the outer hull as possible to make it easier for me to remove internal sections. Now it's going to take time for those to float to the processor, so I'm going to move to the other side just to make more efficient use of time. This is curious. Why is that tether not working? Let's try that again. That's better. This one, I don't know whether this hull section is a little too heavy. Maybe I need to use more tethers. Yeah, this one's heavy for some reason, so
Tether supplies are low.
yeah, it looks like it. I'm gonna run through a lot of tethers doing this, but that's okay. Still doable.
Valuable object processed. Credits awarded.
Okay, that one's working out nicely. Now we've got this one set of, this is part of the ship's spine, so to speak, so I'm gonna just push that to the processor. Now here's the airlock. We'll have to cut that one panel free. But for right now, I'm just gonna move what I can where I can before I run out of tethers. We've got this other section here. Let's see if I can pull that away.
You're out of tethers. Get yourself over to the kiosk to buy some more.
Okay, so that's what we'll do. We'll go and get some more tethers. How's our work order coming along? We still have to salvage our thruster, the reactor, some metal, and computer terminals. Now, that's if we want to satisfy the work order. As I did with the Javelin, I salvaged some of the more important parts of the ship, but not everything, because that would take an awful lot of time. And the purpose of these videos is just to give you a general sense of strategy of how best to dismantle one of these ships. So see, that's pulling away. Now this next piece may be stuck. We'll try a second tether and see if that works. Oh, looks like I've got a piece of, looks like I've got a strut there. But that's destined for the processor anyway. So, clumsy as it is, it's not the end of the world. So I suppose while that's moving along, I can take a moment and cut free the airlock.
Valuable object processed. Credits awarded.
Okay, one more place to cut. Okay, I should now be able to grapple this panel right off.
Object accepted for processing. Credits deposited.
And that'll drift to the processor. Now let's take the actual airlock assembly and send that down to the barge. There you go. Now you can see we've made some great progress. We've got this coolant line exposed, and we've also got... The reactor is not completely exposed yet, but we're getting there. So let me work toward that angle. Pull that away. And we'll do the same over here. So definitely making some headway here.
Valuable object processed. Credits deposited.
I can also see we're rolling to one side. Alright, let's see what else we can pull apart here. I'm trying to strip it down as much as I can before going for the more valuable internals.
Processing valuable object. Credits awarded.
Oh, this tether broke, and I want to make sure that I'm going to use a second tether here. One of the challenges with the back sections of the ship is if you're not careful, these parts can get stuck in the gravity well of the furnace, and next thing you know, you've sent a piece of valuable salvage to the wrong place. Alright, so let's look. Now you can see the reactor is mostly exposed. But in order to get it down to the barge, we have to cut loose these two pipes. But we can't do that yet until we disable the fuel system and the coolant system. We'll be getting to that soon. Now, are we stuck on something here? No, this one big section is... This is all one big section of strut. It might be wise to pull that away before we start doing anything with the reactor. So let's try this. Let's put a tether here and see if that pulls away. Yep, there it goes. Bye-bye. Uh-oh. No. No. No, you don't. See what I mean about the gravity well of the furnace? In fact, I might be able to use the actual grapple beam to give it a boost. And one more tether for good measure. That's better. Okay, is that... Yeah, that's kind of stuck there. Well, for good measure, one more tether. Come on, you can do this. Alright. That should do it.
Processing valuable object.
Alright, now we've got things exposed enough that we can make a play for the reactor core. We can address the thrusters later. Alright, so as I said before, we have to cut those pipes loose, but we can't cut the pipes loose until we render safe the coolant system and the fuel system. But I also mentioned before that the moment we render the fuel system safe using a utility key, the reactor immediately goes into meltdown. So the first thing I gotta do is render the fuel system safe. I'm sorry, the coolant system safe. So how we do this is I grapple away this panel, and you'll notice that there are 3 little coolant tanks inside. We have to grapple them out and take them one by one. So that's 1, 2. Now when I pull out the 3rd, you'll see and hear the coolant system power down. Okay. So that's part 1. And this is where things are going to get a little tricky because I need to put in a utility key. Fortunately, you can buy utility keys from the kiosk. You don't have to hope to find one. So as soon as I put this key in, that's when the countdown begins. Okay, now I've got to move quickly. See, you can already see the warning triangle. Oh boy, come on.
Reactor meltdown detected. Urgent action required.
Yeah, I know. Alright. So what I gotta do is I gotta cut these pipes free. So activate cutter, pinpoint mode, and do this. Okay, that's good. Now, grab this and grapple it down to the barge. Just straight down as best as you can. And if all goes as I hope, yes, the entire, or most of it, goes down. It broke up partially, but it's going down. Beautiful. Shoo. Okay, that's the trickiest part of this. Alright. Now, we don't have any other doors to open. So, the next thing we can do is go for the power generator, because that's valuable. Now, I mentioned previously that there are circuit breakers that have to be thrown in order to safely remove them. Now, the breakers, there are usually 3 of them. 1 on one side and 2 on the opposite side. And they're usually elsewhere in the ship, and this is one of them. Now, watch the lights. I have to wait until the lights go out before throwing this switch to eject the fuse. And listen to the tones. Okay, so here it goes. 2, 1, do it. Ow!
Electrical damage.
I did it a little too soon. That was a mistake. Ouch. I can't make that mistake again. In fact... okay, I really didn't want to do that, but I did it. So that took 50% off my health. The good news is, I believe I saw a health kit in here somewhere. Let's go find that and use it. If not, I can buy one, I think. Here we go. Phew. So that's an example of how not to do it. Alright, so let's go around to the other side. Do this again. Of course, every time you remove a breaker, the others tick down faster. So here we go. There, that's how it's supposed to go. And while I'm at it, I'm going to grab the fuse. Sometimes the work orders call for you to remove the fuses. There we go. Okay, so we have now rendered the power generator safe to remove. So let's float over there. I'll need to use the grapple to pull it out. And then I can just grapple it down to the barge. No. Try that again. Okay, down you go. Okay, good. So we've pulled out the reactor, we've
Salvage
pulled
deposit
out
accepted. Credits transferred.
the power generator. The next big ticket item we probably want to try removing is the ECU, the environmental cooling unit. Now, if we take a look, it is secured by this pipe. So I can cut it loose from here. Alright. Now we might now be able to grapple it out of place. Or not. It may be secured to the floor. Actually, no, wait, it is floating. Gently. Alright, so what's a good way to get it out of here? We can't just move it out of the airlock, but what we can do is we can cut a hole in the floor. There are no pipes nearby, thankfully. So I can just cut the floor here, and here, and here, and then one more over here. Yep, see? So we can take this. Now this goes to the furnace. So I might be able to just give it a shove like that. Off you go. So now we can just take this and tether it straight down to the barge. Down you go. Bye-bye. See ya.
Caution.
Have fun.
Material processed. Credits deposited.
Okay, so there is the ECU.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
Okay, so the work order calls for us to salvage at least one engine. Now, to do that, we should try to remove some more hull sections, so I'm going to do that next. So we've got this big hull section in the back. What I might be able to do is detach the engines. The engines typically need to be removed from here. Like so. Because if I remove these, then I may be able to pull the hull away from the engines, thus exposing them. So let's grab these and send them to be recycled. That's better. Hopefully they'll rebound. These are not especially high value items, but still. Of course, I look at those I look at those thruster tips and I'm reminded of cookies. Alright, now let's see if I can pull this section straight back against the wall of the berth and see if that works. Actually, I'm just pulling away the entire ship with me. I wonder what's going on here. Yeah, sometimes it's a little odd trying to do this. So what I may do instead is see if I can just drag this engine downward. And just pull it out of the hull like this. It's a little tricky, but and then tether it down to the barge like so. Perhaps not as elegant as pulling the entire hull away, but still workable.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
Alright, let's do it again like this. And that's the thing about this game is there is no one way to do every ship. Sometimes it takes a little bit of creativity and problem solving. This is almost like a puzzle box.
Salvage secured.
All right. Are there any parts that we need to worry about now? It looks like, let's grab this piece of strut and send it to the processor. Okay, good. And we've got some piping here that we can send to the processor as well.
Cutter, looks like you used your last tether. Head on over to the kiosk if you need more.
Okay, so let's head on back here.
Welcome to Vendatron 9000. Thank you for your purchase. Thank you for your purchase. Thank you for your purchase. Have a nice day.
Okay, so I'm going to say this is a good place to stop. So join me next time as I continue dismantling this Gecko. Eric Pearson, signing off.